Most people think older women want attention. They don't. They want recognition, and almost no one knows how to give it. And the mistake people keep making, it's costing them deeper connection than they'll ever realize. If you're a younger man or woman trying to understand older women, and you feel confused, like no matter what you say or do, something still feels off, this is for you. Modern dating culture teaches surface-level attraction, but it completely ignores psychological value, especially when it comes to women who've lived, loved, lost, and evolved. Older women don't respond to the same signals, and when people treat them like they do, connection breaks. Today, you'll understand what actually makes an older woman feel valued, why most people unintentionally miss it, and how respect, attraction, and emotional depth quietly shift when you get this right. Why attention stops working. Here's the first uncomfortable truth. An older woman has already received attention, compliments, desire, validation, romantic pursuit. She's seen it, she's heard it, she's lived it. So when someone leads with surface praise, "You look amazing. You don't look your age. You're so attractive," for something inside her closes. Not because she's ungrateful, but because attention without understanding feels empty once you've lived long enough. You see, attention is external. Value is internal recognition. And psychology tells us something important here. As people age, their emotional reward system shifts. Dopamine-driven excitement gives way to meaning-driven connection. That's why flirtation that once felt exciting can now feel noisy. Here's a real scenario. A younger man sits across from an older woman on a date. He's confident, well-dressed, says all the right things, compliments her appearance, talks about how lucky he feels, tries to impress. She smiles, nods, engages. But later, she tells a friend, "He didn't really see me." What does that mean? It means he spoke to her image, not her experience. Older women carry something younger people often underestimate: emotional history. Not baggage, history. They've learned where they abandoned themselves, where they overgave, where they stayed silent. So when someone tries to win them with attention alone, it feels shallow, even if the intention is pure. What actually lands? Being acknowledged for who they are now, not who they appear to be. Example, instead of saying, "You're so confident," say, "I can tell you've worked hard to become this grounded." That difference, it hits deep, because it recognizes effort, not aesthetics. Older women feel valued when you notice the architecture of who they've become, their boundaries, their clarity, their calm. And here's the psychological twist. People feel safest and most attracted when they are accurately perceived, not idealized, not romanticized, seen. Attention tries to win. Recognition creates trust. And trust, that's where attraction matures. So if attention doesn't work, what does? That brings us to the second shift most people miss. Respect without submission. There's a subtle mistake many people make with older women. They either overcompensate with deference or try to prove dominance. Both fail. Why? Because older women don't want power games. They want presence with self-respect. Let's talk psychology. Healthy attraction requires polarity, but not imbalance. Older women feel valued when they are met, not managed, not pedestalized, not challenged for ego. Here's what that looks like in real life. You don't rush to agree with everything she says. You don't shrink yourself to be liked. You don't perform confidence. You stay anchored. You listen fully and respond honestly. If you disagree calmly. If you set a boundary, you set it cleanly. If you're interested, you express it directly. That's respect, not submission, not intimidation. Older women have spent years navigating emotional labor, carrying conversations, soothing egos, managing reactions. So when they meet someone who can stand steady without leaning on them, Something relaxes inside. They feel valued because they don't have to hold you. Here's a powerful example. She shares a strong opinion. Instead of rushing to counter or appease, you say, "That makes sense given what you've experienced." Notice what that does. You're not agreeing blindly, you're acknowledging her context. That's emotional intelligence. And here's the key psychological principle. Respect is not shown through obedience. It's shown through self-regulation. Older women feel valued when you regulate your emotions, communicate clearly, don't need validation from them, don't punish them for honesty. Why? Because it signals maturity. And maturity is deeply attractive to someone who has already lived through immaturity. There's another layer here. Boundaries. Older women value people who honor boundaries without resentment. If she says no to a plan, a pace, a topic, and you don't withdraw affection or push back, that registers as safety. And safety, psychologically, precedes desire, not excitement, not chemistry. Safety. Because safety means choice, and choice means respect, which leads us to the final and most overlooked factor. Choosing her, not using her. Here's the deepest truth. Older women feel valued when they know they are chosen, not convenient, not a phase, not a fantasy, not a life lesson, chosen. Many older women have experienced being desired but not committed to, admired but not prioritized, wanted privately but avoided publicly. So they've developed an internal radar. They can sense when someone is curious versus used, invested, entertained versus intentional, attracted versus available. What makes them feel valued is consistency aligned with words, not intensity, not grand gestures. Consistency. You show up when you say you will. Your behavior doesn't change after intimacy. Your tone doesn't shift when comfort replaces novelty. That stability communicates something powerful. I'm here because I want to be, not because I need something. And that lands deeply. Psychologically, older women value integrity of intent. They've learned that excitement without direction leads to disappointment. So when your actions align quietly over time, trust builds. Another overlooked detail. Older women feel valued when you respect their autonomy. You don't try to reshape their life. You don't compete with their independence. You don't frame their strength as a threat. You admire it and stand beside it. There's something profoundly affirming about being wanted without being needed. That's adult connection. And here's the emotional insight most people miss. Older women often don't fear loneliness. They fear emotional waste, time spent where their depth isn't met, energy invested where their clarity isn't respected. So when someone engages with intention, presence, and emotional honesty without trying to control outcomes, they feel valued at a soul level. Not because of romance, but because of recognition. They are no longer trying to be understood. They are. So here's the question I want you to sit with. Have you been trying to impress or actually understand? Comment below what shifted for you while listening to this. If you want more grounded psychological insight into attraction, boundaries, and emotional intelligence, subscribe. This channel is built for depth, not noise. And if you know someone who keeps missing connection without knowing why, share this with them. Some messages arrive exactly when they're needed.